Hello and welcome to Idea TV News Update. I am Chinatu Oji. We begin with the headlines. Federal government completes over 420 roads, bridges under Tinubu. Customs chief backs NACO Export Center and pledges support for boosting Nigeria's global trade. TikTok removes over 3.6 million Nigerian videos for policy violations in first quarter of 2025. Cameroon's 92-year-old President Paul Biya to seek eighth term. Away from Africa, Trump unveils $70 billion AI plan powered by fossil fuels. And in health, Osun government pledges continued support for family planning. In business, Nigeria exceeds Opec crude production quota in June, boosting oil output prospect. In sport, AFN confidences Nigeria hosts African under-18 and under-20 athletics championships in Abeokuta. Now the news in full. The federal government says over 420 federal roads, bridges and key infrastructure projects have either been completed or at advanced stages under the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. This was disclosed at the 33rd Engineering Assembly of the Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria, COREN, held in Abuja, where National Development, Engineering Ethics and Compliance took center stage. Representing the chairman of the Senate Committee on Work, Senator Barinada Piggy, Ashley Menike said the Tinubu-led administration's renewed hope agenda is driving massive investment in roads, housing and energy. He praised engineers as vital nation builders but warned against rising engineering failures due to non-compliance, poor supervision and quack practices. He pledged the Senate's support for COREN in enforcing regulations and promoting safety and accountability across the profession. The events also featured industry leaders like former Prime Minister Bartanaji, who called for innovation hubs and indigenous solutions to Nigeria's infrastructure needs. COREN and the Nigerian Society of Engineers echoed the need for stronger policy reforms, professional development, and improved remuneration. Participants urged the government to integrate engineers into strategic planning to secure Nigeria's future through sustainable and safe infrastructure. Moving on. The Controller General of the Nigeria Customs Service (NCS), Mr. Bashir Adeniyi, has thrown his full support behind the NACO Export Packaging and Processing Center (NEPPC), located at the Murtala Muhammad International Airport in Lagos. During a visit to the facility, Mr. Adeniyi praised the center's commitment to global export standards and declared it his duty, both as a public official and private citizen, to support such initiatives that strengthen Nigeria's export capacity. Adeniyi emphasized that customs operations go beyond revenue generation and include supporting businesses that create jobs and attract foreign exchange. He directed Mr. Michael Awe, the Customs Area Controller for the Cargo Terminal Command, to finalize the necessary procedures to fully operationalize the NEPPC. Accompanied by senior customs officials, the CGC reiterated that the NCS is interested in any cargo processing center that aligns with international compliance standards. Mr. Lumuyiwa Olumekun, Group Managing Director of NACO, welcomed the visit as a strong vote of confidence. He reaffirmed that the NEPPC was established to enhance the quality, packaging and global acceptability of Nigerian commodities, especially perishables. Since its commissioning in 2024, the center has aimed to streamline export processes, create employment and boost Nigeria's presence in global markets through improved standards and efficiency. In other news, TikTok has deleted over 3.6 million videos in Nigeria between January and March 2025, marking a 50% increase from the previous quarter. According to its latest community guidelines enforcement report, the platform reported a proactive detection rate of 98.4%, with 92.1% of videos taken down within 24 hours of being uploaded. Despite the uptick in enforcement, TikTok emphasized that the majority of content from Nigerians remains positive, educational, and entertaining. As part of its broader crackdown, TikTok banned 42,196 live rooms and disrupted over 48,000 live streams across Nigeria. The company also shut down 129 West African accounts in March that were allegedly tried to convert influence operations. These actions reflect TikTok's heightened efforts to maintain content integrity and safety in the region. Globally, TikTok removed over 211 million videos, with 184 million flagged through automated systems and a 99% detection rate. In Nigeria, The platform launched a digital well-being of collaboration with CCR to support users facing issues like harassment and self-harm. TikTok also named Dr. Lawale Ogunlana, Dr. Wells, as Nigeria's first digital well-being ambassador, reinforcing its Safer Together campaign and regional safety summits. Cameroon's President Paul Biya, the world's oldest head of state at 92, has announced that he will run for an eighth term in the upcoming October election, extending his 43-year rule. His candidacy was confirmed in a social media post where he cited numerous and insistent calls from across the country and diaspora urging him to continue. Biya's administration has long faced criticism over corruption, poor governance, and deteriorating security. His prolonged absences from the public eye have fueled ongoing concerns about his health and capacity to lead. Despite this, the ruling party has consistently backed him, and he has never lost an election since coming into power in 1982. His announcement comes amid a fractured political landscape with former allies from the north, including ex-minister Issa Chiroma and former PM Bello Buba Meigari, breaking away to contest the election. Key opposition figures such as Maurice Kamto and Cabral Libi are also running. Biya removed term limit in 2008, allowing him to seek re-election indefinitely. If successful in October, he would remain in office until nearly 100, deepening concerns over democratic decline in a Central African nation. And now away from Africa, U.S. President Donald Trump has announced a $70 billion investment in artificial intelligence, AI, and energy at a high-profile summit in Pittsburgh, aligning AI development with fossil fuel expansion. Held at Carnegie Mellon University, the event brought together tech and oil industry leaders but excluded environmental and public interest groups. The initiative, supported by 20 major companies pledging an additional $92 billion, positions Pennsylvania as a hub for AI innovation powered by oil and gas. Trump dismissed renewable sources like wind as unreliable, declaring that it just doesn't exist. His remarks on the fossil fuel focus drew sharp criticism from climate advocates. Meanwhile, environmentalists warn that the plan will increase pollution, harm communities, and worsen the climate crisis. They also slammed the recently passed Trump-backed budget bill that rolls back green energy tax credits, potentially raising the cost of powering AI systems and sidelining sustainable solutions. Tech leaders like Microsoft's Satya Nadella and OpenAI's Sam Altman have emphasized the importance of renewable energy for AI scalability. Critics argue Trump's plan favors corporate interest over public welfare and threatens long-term environmental and economic stability. We're now going on a quick break. The news continues when we return. Joining us, this is still IGI TV News Update. Now the rest of the stories. In health, the Osun State government is pledged to sustain the progress made in family planning following a successful 3-year partnership with the Challenge Initiative, TCI. Speaking at the stakeholders meeting in Osogbo yesterday, the State Commissioner for Health, Mr. Jola Kintola, highlighted the significant improvement in reproductive health access and reaffirmed the government's commitment to ensuring every citizen has access to quality family planning services. With the TCI program transitioning to full state ownership, Osun will now take over funding and management of its family planning initiatives. TCI's country director, Dr. Taiwo Johnson, noted that over 76,000 men and women adopted family planning during the intervention period. She praised the state's readiness to sustain the program and emphasized the importance of continued efforts to increase uptake, especially among women. TCI's senior technical advisor, Dr. Lukunle Omotosho, urged the state to allocate more resources for contraceptive supplies and to hire additional healthcare providers to replace retiring staff. He further emphasized that the demand for family planning remains high and maintaining the gains requires increased investment. Osun's family planning coordinator, Mrs. Ololade Abatan, also reiterated the need to build on the current momentum to improve urban health systems across the state. And now in business, the International Monetary Fund has warned that Nigeria could lose up to 0.5% of its gross domestic product in revenue following the federal government's decision not to increase the value-added tax VAT rate. In its latest article, Ivy Consultation Report, the IMF acknowledged recent tax reforms as a positive step but said keeping VAT unchanged would cause an immediate revenue shortfall, especially at the state and local government levels. The fund supported the government's decision, given high poverty and food insecurity, noting that only 5.5 million out of 15 million targeted households have received cash transfers. However, it cautioned that the delay could strain already stretched public finances without alternative funding. States may have to either cut spending or boost local revenue efforts to make up for lost VAT income. Despite these challenges, the IMF praised the ongoing tax reform drive led by the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy, describing it as a critical to reversing Nigeria's low revenue to GDP ratio. It urged the government to outline a medium-term plan with clear timelines for tax policy changes to strengthen investor confidence and fiscal sustainability. Inflation remains high and public debt has climbed to 52.9% of GDP. And finally, in sports, the city of Abeokuta in Ogun State is buzzing with excitement as Nigeria plays host to over 40 African nations for the third Confederation of African Athletics Under 20 and Under 18 and Under 20 championships, which kicks off today. The Athletics Federation of Nigeria has named a 92-member team made up of 51 male and 41 female athletes, all set to compete for top honors on home soil. According to the AFN, the team was carefully selected after a 2-week camp and national trials in Shagamu. The Federation's Technical Director, Gabriel Okon, expressed confidence in the contingent, highlighting their potential and positive spirit in camp. President of the Federation, Tonobok Okowa, urged the young athletes to compete with discipline and determination, noting that this championship is part of a broader plan to lay a strong foundation for Nigeria's future in athletics. Team Nigeria is captained by Temitope Ademola for the girls and Honorable Clement for the boys. With events already underway, the nation's hopes are high that this young team will not only impress at home, but also position Nigeria as a powerhouse in African youth athletics. And that's the much we can take on Idea TV News Updates. But before we go, here's a quick recap of the headlines. Federal government completes over 420 roads and bridges under President Tinubu. Custom Chief backs NACO Expert Center and pledges support for boosting Nigeria's global trade. TikTok removes over 3.6 million Nigerian videos for policy violations in first quarter of 2025. Cameroon's 92-year-old President Paul Biya to seek 8th term. Away from Africa, Trump unveils $70 billion AI plan powered by fossil fuels, sparking climate backlash. And in health, Russian government pledges continued support for family planning. In business, Nigeria exceeds Opec crude production quota in June. And in sports, AFN confident as Nigeria hosts African Under 20 and Under 18 Athletics Championships in Abeokuta. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms at Idea Television. I am Chinatu Oji. Thank you for watching.